Hello! Welcome to my macrame headband tutorial for the healthcare workers. So you may have seen there's been a bit of a buzz around these headbands, and it's been because the people who have to wear the face masks for long periods, like the nurses and the healthcare workers, and that have found that the elastic bands they either rub behind their ears or on the top of their ears, depending on which design they're wearing. I've seen a few other really clever solutions using crochet or sewing techniques, so I thought I would bring this to the table. So it's just a comfortable and stylish alternative, and I hope it becomes the thing. This is my first ever video tutorial, so I'll do my best to make it easy to follow. You will need the written pattern for the measurements, etc. So if you don't have this, please send me a request and I'll be happy to share that with you. You can get me on Macrame on Facebook and Instagram, or carrickmacrame@gmail.com. Okay, so if you want to find somewhere that you can secure your elastic band, somewhere like a rail, that's what I'm using, or you can either just pin it to a pin board. You can do it freestyle and just do it like on a table or in your lap, but it just makes it a bit tricky. Okay, so I've attached four of the cords already, and I left one out just so that I can show you how you want to put that on. Okay, so here you'll get the loop, and you want to pop it over the top of the elastic band, or through at the middle. So it's like this, and then with the cord legs, you want to put it through the middle of the loop and just put it through. So you can see it will look like this, and then you put it. That's a lark's head knot. That's how you attach most macrame if you haven't already done it. So I'm just kind of going to assume that you haven't done macrame. So excuse me if I'm telling you how to suck eggs. Alright, so once they're all on the elastic band, you can adjust them accordingly. You want to number the cords 1 through to 10, and they'll all be different lengths, so you can just adjust it here. There will be a couple of centimetres, give or take, so don't worry if it doesn't seem like it's the right length. I included a little bit extra in the measurement, so yeah, don't worry if you think it's going to be too short, you'll end up snipping a bit off. Alright, so let's get started. You want to start with cord number 1, the one that's furthest on the left. Just a moment. So this will be your first working cord, and you want to hold it diagonally across your work. And what you're going to do now is a double hitch clove. So each cord as you go along will be tied to this twice. So a double hitch clove is it's quite a simple knot, really. So it will look like this. It will be, and then you pull it nice and snug to the top, and then you'll do it again. So the loop that you make here, when you cross over, the leg will come back through the loop. Okay, and then you want to do that up to cord number 5. So from cord 2 to cord 5, and then you'll stop and you'll start from the other side. And this is cord number 5. Okay, so just to give you a little tip, you just want to adjust it a little bit so that there's the same tension on each cord. This it will help with the consistency. There we go, and that one. Okay, and then you're going to do the same from here. Hold it diagonally, and you're going to do double hitch cloves all the way to this side. Okay, so you're going to continue, and you're going to make, well, you're going to start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth cord is going to be your working cord. Your working cord is the one that you tie the knots around. So you're going to double hitch, sorry, double half clip. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. Double half cloves. Hitches. Well, these knots anyway. So you do that to the end there. When you're doing this, because I'm going to speed the video up in a moment once I've gotten through the button, you want to keep stretching the whole work out, because if you don't, you're going to end up with quite a big headband that's got a lot of give in it. So my head is 55 centimeters diameter, circumference, whatever it is. And yeah, I stretched mine out quite a lot as I was going along. So you just want to hold the top and give it a little tug, and make sure that the crosses are a bit more of this angle than that angle, because you're going to use up a lot more cord if it's if you're having to, if they're like that. Whereas if they're a little bit more vertical, you're going to end up not running out of cord at the end as well, so that's quite important. Okay, so we're going to start from number 1 again. Hang on, I've made a mistake there. I was getting carried away. I was thinking about something else. That happens a lot. You can just untie it. So each cord has to go around your working cord. You want it to be going around twice. If it's gone around more than twice, then you know you've also gotten carried away with daydreaming. But that's fine. You can just undo it until you've just got the 2. Okay, so we're going to be putting our first button in now. So you want these 4 cords in the middle. These are going to be what's called your filler cords. So that will be held in between the square knot cords. So with cord number 3 and cord number 8, these are going to be your working cords, and you want to make your first square knot. Okay, so with a square knot, I'm not very good at explaining, so it might just be easier to watch the video a few times. So you want to make a 4 with the cords. The cord in your left will go in front of the 4 filler cords, but behind your other working cord. So your working cord, the one that's in your right hand, you want it to go underneath the first working cord and behind the 4 filler cords, and then you want it to come within this loop created, the 4, if you like, and pull that up through. Okay, so you have a cross on either side of the filler knots. So it looks like this, and that holds it nice and snug. So you want to pull that up to about there. You don't want to pull this really tight. You don't want to squish up these 4 filler cords. You want them to stay fairly flat, because we're going to do a few of the knots and then we're going to flip it around, and these are going to go through that hole. So that's what's going to create the button, and you want it to keep its size so the mask can hold onto it well. Okay, so these are alternating square knots, so you want to do the same that you just did but the other way around. So it's now a backwards 4, the same as before. The loop of the 4 will go in front of the 4 working cords, but behind the working cord in your left hand. The working cord in your left hand will then go underneath the 4 filler cords and through the loop created by your working cord on your right. Okay, so again, you see you have 2 crosses either side where the material crosses, and you have this cool kind of loop shape. And as you pull it tight, not too tight obviously, you want to remember to keep it nice and flat, you can hold the knot and pull the cord a little just to make sure it's secure. So this part here, this is what I call the bridge of the square knot. So you always want to be pulling the cord through on the other side, on the same side as this. So I'll show you what I mean. So you have the 4 again, like this, and the cord wants to come through on the same side that you've just created that little bridge. So if in case you forget which side you've just done the knot, because it's a lot to concentrate on, to be fair, then that will help you to do that. So you want it also, another way to remember it is how to start the next knot is you want the 4 loop to be on the opposite side of the bridge that you just made. Okay, so there is your 4 loop. No, I've just lied to you. It's the same side. The bridge will be the same side as the 4 loop. Okay, you want to be pulling the cord through the loop on the same side as the bridge. Okay, so you want to do that a few more times so that you have 8 of these little bridge fellas there. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so once you get here, you're going to get those 4 middle filler cords, and they are now going to be fed around and through that hole. I have a little crochet hook that I like to use for this trick. So you want to be right in the middle, right underneath the X, this little hole here, and you just want to take all 4 of the cords and you want them to go through that hole. Okay. Okie dokie. So you see now, this is the best bit. You are going to be creating the button. So you can see it's like a nice little nubbin. You can push your thumb up underneath here and pull down a little bit just to secure it in. And again, pull the whole lot tight, nice and tight. Okay, now we're going to lock this in, because if we don't, it's just going to wobble around all over the shop. So to lock it in, we just do 1 more square knot. Okay, I'll try and keep these in the same order. Now this knot you want to do quite tight. So it's easier then for the elastic band to go around it and to hold it nice and tight. And then the other one, the other alternating square knot. Okay, now you're going to repeat steps 1, 2, 3 to create more of these crosses. So you're going to do steps 1 to 3 7 more times. Okay, so you're going to have 7 more of these points of cross. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so once we've done the button, cute little macrame button, we're going to do 7 more of steps 1 through to 3. Okay. Okay, so it's starting to get a little bit low, so I think I'm just gonna twist it around the rail, maybe just once for now. You've got to think about your posture as well. You don't want to be, you know, working too low because you get carried away, well I do anyway, you get carried away in the knots and you don't realise how bad your posture is, so make sure you're comfortable and carry on. Okay, so after the first button, I've done 2 more rounds of steps 1 through to 3. So you want to do 5 more. I will skip the video forward and I will meet you there, and then we'll do the second button together. So you want, once you've done the button, you want 7 more rounds of steps 1 through to 3. Okay? Okay, so your work after you've done the 7 rounds of 1 to 3 after the first button should look like this. Okay, and now we're going to do the button. So let's just wrap it around again. So yeah, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crosses after the button, and then your other button is going to fit under that one. Okay, so again you want to take the 4 middle cords and then the cord either side of the 4, and they'll be your working cords to make your square knot. Okay, so again with the 4, the working cord on in your left hand, you hold the loop, it goes over the filling 4. The working cord in your left goes in front of the other working cord, and then behind and underneath all of them and through the hoop. There's 1 square knot, and then you're going to do 1 more square knot but on the other side. So this is an alternating square knot. If you do the square knot the same direction, like if you were going to do all of your knots looking like a 4, then you'll get like a nice spiral effect. It's really nice, but not for the button. Okay, so you want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these little bridges, and then we're going to pass the filler cords through the hole just under the X. And take those 2 working cords that you just left out from tucking in the legs, and you're going to make 2 more alternating square knots to lock it in. Nice and tight with that one. Okay, and then you're going to do steps 1 through to 3 2 more times, I think. Yeah, 2 more times. Okay, so after your last button, you should have 2 more rounds of 1 through to 3. You notice I've got these little knots here. This is because this is my practice run, I suppose, and I ran out of cord, so I had to tie a bit more on. But don't worry, because the measurements that I've given you guys, I've made up for this, so you will have enough cord. You won't have the same problem, so ignore these. So yes, after the 2 crosses, now we're going to do what's called a barrel knot. So you want to use all of the cords apart from the 2 on the outside. These are going to be your filler cords. Okay, so you want to get a piece of cord. I've got quite a long piece. I think 10 or 15 centimeters should be more than enough. Okay, so to do this, you keep all of the filler cords in your palm. You put one end of your wrapping cord to about the same length as where the X stops. You want to put your looping needle or your knitting needle, you want to have that, or yarn needle, whatever it's called. You want to put that just next to your wrapping cord, and you want to have the loop at the top. Okay. So you'll hold them all nice and tight. Your wrapping cord is going to go just behind the needle, and then you're gonna, it's quite tricky, you've got to hold it all quite tight because you don't want it to go loose here. And then you wrap it around the whole bunch that you have in your hand. Maybe you don't want to start that far down. Want to start about an inch down from the end of the cord. Okay, so you can gently work this knot once you've gotten the first loop around it. It gets a bit easier once they're held in place. Okay, now you want to wrap the wrapping cord around the filling cords
just up until you reach the top of your cord, so about here. Okay, so I've gone round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Now you want to get the other end of your wrapping cord, pop it through the loop. You don't want to pull it all the way, you want quite a bit of slack here, so that when you pull it down through your barrel knot, you don't end up running out and bunching the whole lot together. Okay, so holding the barrel knot, you're going to pull your wrapping cord tight. You want to do it kind of bit by bit. You don't want to just pull it all up tight. Okay, so you still have a little bit of this end poking out the top, which is this piece. You want to pull that tight as well. Okay, and then we're just going to poke that bit through the back. Okay, and then you can just trim that bit off. Okay, so yep, you should have something that looks like that. And then you want to, I'm going to have to just take all of this off because you're going to attach it now to the hairband. You're nearly done. Well done. Okay, so I'm going to keep it on here. It's going to be easier to film it. So this is the other end of the elastic band. Make sure I do it like this so I don't tie it onto the rack. Okay, so with the elastic band, just show you so you can see. So you'll have your hairband here, your headband, sorry, and then your hairband here. Now you want the barrel knot to go through the whole of the elastic band, and you want to keep these two working cords over the top so you can secure it all together with a square knot, or a few square knots ideally, however many you can squeeze out of this. You want these ones to be quite tight, but not too tight that it distorts that bit there. You can make them a bit tighter on the next ones. Okay, probably get 4 alternating square knots, maybe even just 3 actually, but that'll be enough. Okay, now you can take your yarn needle and behind, so the bit that's going to be on facing the hair. You can try and poke it through. Just one of the cords really should be enough. So you just want to tuck these away and hide these strands here. Now, to make it easier, you can poke a little bit of, you can wrap a bit of tape around the end so you don't get this fraying sort of fringe getting in your way. Okay, and then so put it down through that one. I have to work at it because it's tight. Okie dokie. Right, finishing touches now. Nearly there. So you can just snip these two off about there. And this little fray guy can get snipped. And you can see. So from the end of your barrel knot, you give it a little bit. It's up to you. You can cut it right up tight if you like, but I like to leave a little bit because it's just cute. Okay, so just snip these off to show you. Okay, so you have finished your hairband. Now you can adjust it so that it fits your head. Because obviously this is going to be, well, it's going to be too big for me, but everyone has different size head. So now that you have the elastic band all tied on there, you can just pull the elastic hairband through and adjust it accordingly. So you can just cut the elastic band here and tie the hairband back together with just a normal reef knot, and that will keep it nice and secure. And there you have your macrame headband with the little buttons for your mask. Well done, and thanks so much for joining me. I'm glad you liked it and you wanted to give it a go. So yeah, woohoo. Thanks very much. Bye, take care, and yeah, thanks for, if you're a worker, an NHS worker, thanks so much for all of your hard work. We salute you.